y'all. Welcome back to Where the Dogwood Blooms. My name is Cassie Clark, and in today's episode, we are sitting down to have a discussion with a resident of Swannanoa. Devon Gray-Hernandez experienced flooding inside of his own home and was able to escape to family in Tennessee. What was that like? What was his experience in the aftermath? Let's find out. All right, hon, can you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Devon Gray-Hernandez from Swannanoa, North Carolina.
All right. And so our friend Catherine set us up so that we could talk about what you went through during the storm. And so you live in Swannanoa, right?
Right on the river.
Right on the river. All right. So what happened?
So I set a couple alarms for Friday at like 4 a.m. and then 6:30. 4 a.m. it was fine. I went and checked on the river. It was high, but nothing major. And then the alarm went off around 6:30. Not only that, it was dark, and I heard stuff splashing in my room. I live in a ground floor apartment on the Swannanoa River, and I woke up to 7 inches of water in my apartment and rising.
Oh my God.
There's no power. I had very little prepared. I got just a few things collected, just a little bit of dry clothes and toiletries, and I left my apartment in bare feet, in pajamas and a hoodie, with just a couple of dry things to change into. And when I left, the water was at about 1.5 feet. My van outside had a solid like 5 inches of water in it and rising. And it was not a good time. I had trouble opening the door because of the water pressure, because the river was slamming against my house. And I barely got the van out, but I managed to drive it on the dry land. But it was not easy to leave all of my stuff behind, all of my hobby stuff, everything I cherish. And from there, I called my dad, and he got me a hotel over in Woodfin, but they didn't have any power. And from there, I hopscotched through friends' houses, and then ended up getting evacuated by my mom, who drove over from Tennessee to get me. And that was on Tuesday.
Wow. So have you been back since?
I went back on that Tuesday. The water rose 6 feet in my home and left 1.5 feet, just a foot of mud inside. Just about everything was destroyed. And it looked like someone had taken like a washing machine and turned my whole apartment upside down. Most of the stuff like around the apartment was destroyed. There were cars that were not there when I left. The person who lives above me, her stairs got destroyed. She's okay. I've got in contact with her. But just everything destroyed. The walls are buckling in inside. And really.
So what do you think about the efforts, the cleanup efforts, what's going on in Swannanoa?
So Swannanoa is a bit of it was a little bit more chaotic when I went back. There were, when I went back this last time, there were still like Chinook helicopters landing, delivering a whole bunch of supplies. National Guard is on site. FEMA is on site. There's been a lot of weird rumors about FEMA. FEMA's been really good to me. They've helped me a lot. And then the inspector, who I just met with last week, met me in my apartment, and he was very good. And they've been able to help me to give me what I need to move past all this.
Yeah.
But Swannanoa is still a bit chaotic. There's a lot of buildings that are just destroyed, buildings that are still collapsing through sinkholes and stuff. Swannanoa probably will never be the same.
Yeah. Man, I hate to hear that. So what's your plan now?
Currently, I'm living over in Greenville, Tennessee with my mom. Almost got a new apartment locked down. We got the van fixed. Luckily, the only thing bad in the van was a starter that was replaced. So currently the plan is to wait on that apartment and then try to rebuild a life. I suppose the good thing is that I don't need a U-Haul to move all my stuff. I can fit all my stuff in the trunk of a car. Good news, bad news.
Right. So what have you heard about how many are missing and how many are dead? The numbers are all over the place. What I've heard from public officials and what I'm hearing here don't seem to line up. So what have you heard? Like,
The number that keeps kind of floating around the community right now is 86 are confirmed dead, but we have, I think, over 100 missing, and unfortunately, I think most of those people are under mud. So I think they'll find them as they keep cleaning stuff up.
and so that's just in Swannanoa?
I don't know if that's all of Western North Carolina. I couldn't tell you the number in Swannanoa.
Gotcha. So I have to ask, is there anything you need? Like, are you okay?
I'm okay. I've done a lot of crying.
Yeah.
It's been a really scary couple weeks. In those first 3 days, I lost 10 pounds, back both from stress and just lack of eating. That first week, I spent a lot of time just sort of like surrounded by friends. Thankfully, we were able to like come together. But that was a really big thing. That sense of community helped turn this really awful tragedy into not as bad.
Yeah.
And kind of just a pretty awful tragedy.
Yeah.
But I'm okay as well.
I'm glad.
Rebuilding a little bit by little.
Right. Thank you so much for doing this with me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Devon's story is absolutely heartbreaking. It's hard to imagine what was going through his mind when he woke up to discover the floodwaters rising inside of his own home. But I was happy to learn that he was able to escape to family in Tennessee. I was even happier to learn that he had been helped by FEMA, because that's a story that I haven't heard very often. As a matter of fact, more often than not, what I've heard is that claim after claim has been denied by FEMA. Why? I don't know. What I do know is that Western North Carolina matters. Lives have been lost. People have lost everything that they own, and right now they need our help. And if you need to see some of the destruction, the photos that are to follow, Devon took on his last trip back to Swannanoa. As you can see, everything in his home was destroyed. Nothing is left. It's great that Devon got help. Let's ensure that the rest of Western North Carolina gets that help too.